This is a quick video from my Instructables blog on the backlit Skyrim based DIY Monopoly board. I'm going to go over the wiring just real quick. So, wall outlet, 3-pin connector, using them just like that for wall power. Two buttons on the bottom, one's wall power, other one's 9-volt battery. Lifting up the base of the board and taking a look on the inside of it. You can see inside. So starting from the power side, we have this right here, which is the wall supply. These are not glued down or anything, so that you can lift the bottom up if you need to get inside of it. But you've got just a ground and hot wire that run over into that cluster of electronics, and then over here we've got the 9-volt battery bracket and the actual clip for that, and it also runs over here into this cluster of wires. So zooming in on that, we can see here that we have this buck converter, and what that's doing is it's just going to tone down, or it's going to regulate 5 volts out. So this is the input side, so either 9 volts or 12 volts from the wall come in on this side, and then on this other side you've got 5 volts coming out. So both the ground wires are coming into this terminal right here, which actually, it's hard to see, but if you look at it, it comes in, solders in right here to this. And then for your positive, it's coming over here, it's this terminal, it's coming down and running into the 2 switches. Now for the switches, you've got these 2 prongs that are crimped together, and then from there a single wire runs out into the step down chip, and then you have the other 2 prongs. You have one red wire that runs down into the battery, and the other one right here runs back over into the wall power supply. And so what you're doing is you can just turn those on and off to select which power supply you want. Alright, so there's the input on this. The output, you have a ground and 5-volt wire that run into these 2 clear, let's say crimped terminals. You have 3 on the red and 3 on the black. One of them is the supply that comes in for the red, and the other one's the ground that comes in for the black. So from there, one will run out into the Arduino board here for the red and the black, and then one runs out, it's crimped together to another wire here that runs into this black wire here. And then you've also got the digital pin output on the Arduino running into this black wire as well. That black wire runs around the board and up to this connector. And so whenever you close the board, you can see that that connector lines up with this one down here, and you would just hook those 2 together once the board is almost closed, and drop the top and screw the bottom back in, and that's what connects to your lights. For the lights, you've got this connector that connects it to the rest of the stuff on the bottom of the board, and it runs, starting at the lowest valued property, in series, 2 LEDs for each singular spot and 5 for each larger spot. It runs around the outside of the board completely in series, coming back to the most highest valued property, so Park Place, well, whatever would be for your board. From there you have in series this wire that runs around and out and comes up to this mesh of wire. So what that is you have a single DI ground or DI 5-volt and ground that is crimped into 4 of the similar colors. So that means that this is running in parallel electronically. And so if you were coding this, like if this light was, say, I have no idea what actual number it is, but if it was, say, 28, all 4 of those would be 28. So if you command the first light, they all do the same thing, which makes it easier to program and easier to handle. But the important part here is to see that they're all crimped together into singular wires. Now coming out of it, you may notice that there's only one that's got wires coming out, and that's fine. It's just for, you only need to carry it out of one. So it comes out of here, and it looks like it's going into this mesh, but it's actually not. It's sort of running underneath that and then coming around through here You can see that it's following along through here, which loops around and comes back to this mesh here. So once again, same as down here, this one is a singular wire into 4 different ones to run all 4 of these strips in parallel. Singular out again, comes around, crimps into 4. Skyrim, the text logo, all runs in parallel. A singular out that then comes around and up through here, over the top and into the dragon logo. Now these are all in series, so what's happening is it's starting here, it runs and it comes back around, and it runs and it comes back around, etc., etc., and zigzags all the way down. So technically all these are in series. And that just about covers it, and if there's any questions or anything, you can find my blog post and ask away. I'll be more than happy to help anyone or answer anything that I can.